I want to talk about philosophy, like life philosophy, with a survival man mindset, prepper mindset, um, living an alternative lifestyle, van life, living in the Philippines or overseas somewhere, living on a sailboat. Um, there's several different philosophies I believe in. Um, One of them is prepare for the worst and hope for the best. You always want to think like worst case scenario. So when I would spend time in the Philippines is like one of the places with the most natural disasters in the world. And so you always wanted to be prepared for that if that should happen. Um, but they literally have everything but snowstorms, from earthquakes to volcanic eruptions. One's going on right now in the Philippines, tsunamis, typhoons, flooding, potential civil unrest, maybe. I guess that's potential anywhere. But you wanna go in thinking, if the worst happens, what will I do? The other thing is you want redundancy. I'm in my van. I built this van. It's a I could do van life in this. I could live in this. I could survive in this. It's a backup to my house. Every system in my van has a backup. And then so plan for the worst, hope for the best. Redundancy, redundancy, redundancy. And then my philosophy in Alaska was whatever works. If it works, it fulfills the need. Don't worry about what it looks like. Don't worry about what others think about it. Don't worry about don't worry about others in a sense of what do they think about you. Now you want to be helpful to people. That's not what I mean by that, but in terms of don't worry about what other people think of you. My house is a trailer. People would say, "Well, you failed." Well, it's paid for. I don't have debt. But what I mean, then they're sitting on $20,000 or $30,000 of credit card debt, and they're saying I'm a failure. You know, they got a mortgage. They just lost their job. They still have their mortgage to pay. Now who's the failure? So make yourself content. And part of making yourself content is not caring what others think about it. I wear this shirt because it's comfortable. I got spray foam on it. Well, it's been washed probably a dozen times. It hasn't come out. I don't care. I like the shirt. I could go buy another one, but this one still functions. And I'm doing a YouTube video with it on, so you can see it, because I don't care. When's the last time I shaved? Well, I trim my beard like every 2 weeks. My hair's short because I don't want to deal with it. I don't care. I just buzz it off. I do it myself. I've done it myself for 30 years. Why would I pay someone to do what I can do so easily, so quickly? And it's good enough for me. And if it's good enough for me, that's it. It doesn't have to be good enough for everybody. It has to be good enough for me. My van has redundancies all throughout it. I can completely heat it. I can completely cool it. I have food stored in here. I have freeze-dried food. I have spices. I have cooking oils. I have extra pots and pans, knives. I can cool it. I have fans. I have two ceiling fans. I can pull air in one and out the other. If it gets crazy hot, I can turn on the air conditioner. My solar panels have redundancy. I have two separate systems. My one system has 300 watts. It's hooked to the alternator. That's one system. The second system is 800 watts of solar. How much solar do you need in a van? Fill your roof. If you can afford it, fill it. If you can't, put what you can afford and add to it later when you can't afford it. Don't go into debt for it. Just build what you can afford to build. If you don't have a van, build your car. I have got a Pontiac Vibe. It's a very tiny car. I'm going to be selling it at some point here, but I'm going to do a video on that, how you could set that up to live in. Um, how many people right now are getting into situations where they've got to leave their housing? Their rent is going to go up 50%. They just can't afford to stay. Finally saying it's enough is enough. And their house might burn down. There's more flooding right now. You see it like through Kentucky and Tennessee and tornadoes and crazy weather events. Um, we lost power this winter for 20 hours. Well, I've got a battery bank. Keep it in the house. I plugged in the refrigerator, plugged in the freezer, kept everything ice cold. Had a 12-volt Mr. Buddy heater. Have propane stove. Don't use the stove part, but we used one of the the little oven burners. Just like you were going to cook a meal for an hour, just turn your stove on for an hour. Just don't sleep with it on. It's redundancy. The backup to the systems. Should you put in a wood stove in your house? Check with your insurance because your insurance is going to go up. So you got to kind of weigh things out. Is it worth it? You know, or is another system worth putting in? I've got a diesel heater, backup diesel heaters. I could pretty quickly rig to heat the house. I've got it in the shed right now, but you want to have redundancy. I have a generator. I got a generator when when everything froze down in Texas. That event kind of pushed me into getting a generator. Um, I didn't put in a fancy one. I didn't put one in that pops on as soon as the power goes off. That runs off propane and is all hooked up to my house. If you have the money to do it, do it. That's a great way to go. It's connected to your propane, and it can run for a long period of time. As soon as your power goes off, it kicks on. If you can afford things like that, that's a great way to go. But you don't have to have everything perfect. Whatever works. Remember my philosophy: whatever works. So I can heat this with a diesel heater, and I have a wood stove. If it was cold and we're having a hard time, I could get in my I have a queen size bed. I can get in a sleeping bag. I can plug in a 12-volt electric heater, and I have enough battery to run that all night and not hardly even touch it. I mean, not hardly even deplete my battery at all. Now you start running an electric heater, a real electric heater, you're going to deplete a battery pretty quick. I've got some 12-volt heaters. I'm going to get those set up. They run on 100 watts, just a little 100-watt heater. You say, well, that won't heat nothing. I have a queen size bed. I have a door so I can section it off. I'm going to heat 3 feet above the queen size bed. That's the only area I got to heat. And with your body heat back there, with an electric blanket, with a 100-watt heater going, that I can run all night long on a battery. I've got a lot of solar. You want your solar to be able to regenerate your batteries. You put more, as much as you can fit on your roof. That's what you try to put in on your van build. Don't build a man cave. Build a van. Man cave doesn't improve or doesn't secure your family. A van can help secure your family. Give yourself a real option. People say have a bug out bag, and you should. You should have a bug out bag. But if you can have a bug out van, you're way better off. I mean, now I like I don't want to have one vehicle if I can. I want to have a backup again, redundancy. And at some point, I've got too many vehicles. I'm going to get down to where we have one vehicle. and the van. One vehicle we use for everyday use, and then this van. And if I need to use this van as the everyday vehicle, it will be the backup to the everyday vehicle. It's also the backup to the house, and it's also my plan for worst case scenario. And it wouldn't be right for some people, but it's right for me. And as I said, whatever works for you, that's what's important. Everybody should be prepared for more than you're expecting. You need to really plan, like, what if something bad happened? Right now, Russians cannot use a bank card and a debit card, ATM card, credit card, because their government shut the internet down. Is our government going to do that? Probably not. Very unlikely. But could a foreign terrorist do something to shut down our banking system like that? Shut down the grid? There's always been talk about how a nuclear bomb detonated over the United States up in the upper atmosphere could shut down our electric grid, maybe for months. Do you have any cash? That's your redundancy. That's your worst case scenario plan. Do you have any cash? Is it all in one spot? Why? Don't ever do that. Keep everything in separate spots. You never keep everything in the same spot. So if you have a van, keep a little in your van. Keep a little in your bug out bag. Keep a little in your wallet. Keep a little in your house. People need to start thinking differently. There's a lot of anxiety at times. So people make a huge mistake by going into debt. They've got huge car payments, huge house payments, and they're living in a way where there's no backup plan. There's no redundancy. If one part of your system fails, you're cooked. So you need to quit living like that. You need to have some peace of mind. If you're getting to where you're getting close to retirement but you can't retire, start building your van now. When you're still working, and build that system out, get it ready. And then when you want to retire, if you want to do van life for a while, shut the house down. You can sell the house, you can rent the house. If you have your house paid for, that's your income if you have a van. My house, I could rent. Housing costs right here, right now, I mean, it's getting crazy in the whole country, but I saw a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house for rent in this little northern Michigan town for $1,850 a month. And I'm thinking, I got a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, really nice mobile home, like new inside, on a really nice little lot. Could I actually get $1,800 a month for it? Because I could live on that in my van. Now, granted, you have to pay your taxes and your insurance, and you have some things that you have to put aside for upkeep, and it wouldn't be 1,800 profit coming in. It'd be over 1,000. I could live on that in the Philippines. Be tight, but you could do it. It's a worst case scenario thought. Is it something I'm gonna do? Maybe someday in retirement. It wouldn't be just on the what I could get for the house, but as a rental. But it's a thought process. You go through these thought processes because thinking about it prepares you for it. Police train for certain scenarios. You go through the training procedures so when that situation happens, you react appropriately. You want to go through the same type situations, the same scenarios in your head, so that when life throws that at you, You know what to do, so you don't stress over things. If my house burned down, I can come out here. In the middle of winter, we lost power for 20 hours. I was able to keep, it wasn't super cold, so I was able to keep the house warm enough with a couple little batteries or little heaters. Um, but I knew in a worst case scenario, I could come out in this van, I could get a fire going in the wood stove, I could get the diesel heater going. Um, a lot of people don't have family close. Everybody's spread out now. Well, if you have a van, you've you've solved a lot of problems. I watch these videos and I see these reports about how many have moved into their vehicles. So it's becoming more and more common. And I'm just saying, I think people should build a van if that's something you think you might ever want to do. If do you like taking vacations, to take your van. Not everybody likes camping. Okay, well, I mean, if some vans can be built so it's not like you're camping. I mean, if it's a high roof van, you can put a bathroom in it. It doesn't even have to be like you're camping, but it'll get you out of paying for a hotel room, and hotel costs are going up all the time. It's housing in another way, right? So I would encourage everyone to just start thinking about redundancy, worst case scenario, and most importantly, whatever works for you. It doesn't have to work for someone else. I watch these videos about how much does it cost to live in the Philippines. And I see and I think I don't know if they're bragging or they think they're wise, but they'll tell people like don't come here unless you have $3,000 a month to live on. And I think, how weak is that person? How pathetic is that person? How soft is that person that they need that much money to feel like they're surviving? Because you don't need a third of that to survive. You're not going to feel like you're thriving. I'm going to do a cost of living video about living in a place like the Philippines or even van life. You know, um, getting rid of your housing cost is huge, especially in the United States right now. I just, I want people to start thinking differently than they are. Americans are so addicted to things that they think will make their life better. And I don't know if they watch these YouTube videos and they think, "Oh, I want that perfect life." I mean, there's a soap opera actress right now. You'd think she has this perfect life going on. I just saw reports about it, and she's like a basket case. She's having all sorts of problems with her ex filed to get her kids taken from her. Now, if you just look at her life on this soap opera or this TV show that she's on, you'd think she has a perfect life, but things aren't perfect in life. When you see these YouTube videos and you think these people have it all figured out, man, there's so much going on that you don't know about. And we can't be trying to be like we see on TV and on videos. If it's going to cost you everything you make, why are you trying to live that life? You want to live a life that you're content with. And to be content, you can't be comparing yourself to others. You're never going to measure up if you do that. Look at watch these videos where they're talking to women about what they want in a man. And when they start going down through the criteria, it's like, okay, that's a 0.5% of all the men in the world, or that's 1% of all the men in the world that are dark hair, over 6 foot tall, make six figures or seven figures, these crazy things. They want them to have a six-pack abs. They want them to, I mean, the list goes on and on. And every time they put up one of these standards, it wipes out like 50% of all the men. And all of a sudden, they're down to like 1% of the population. And then you got to find, of the 1% of the men, you got to find someone that's single and looking. And then you got to figure out how they're going to fall in love with you. There are these unrealistic expectations. And so, and I don't know if that's because they see on TV what they think they should get. You got to quit looking at TV and thinking that that's what I have to have. That's what normal life is like. That's not reality. I mean, how many people are driving new cars right now? The average new car payment is over $700. The average used car payment right now is over $500. People are driving cars that are taking away their retirement fund. If people saved, if people saved what they put into their cars, almost everybody would be a millionaire at 50. If you put that into the markets, and but people just want to have the newest. Buying a new iPhone every time a new one comes out. I mean, I'm filming this on, the heck is it even? I forget what it's even called, but the year that it came out, it had the best camera of any phone, and it beat all the iPhones. But I didn't get this the year it came out. I don't spend more than probably $150 on a phone. I've never found a reason I needed to. I don't know really anybody, hardly, that could justify buying a new iPhone. How can it be that much better that it's worth 6 times what I pay for my phones? It can't be. How can a new vehicle be worth $80,000? As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's probably worth 60. People need to quit trying to please other people. Why would anyone need to buy a new car like that? And if you've got so much money that it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. But for almost everybody, it makes no sense. The new cars aren't even as good as the cars that were 4 years ago or 5 years ago. The new Toyotas are junk compared to the ones that are 5 years old. They're trying to make all these cars that go forever, or that get this great gas mileage, and they've ruined the engines basically. They're all little tiny turbos. They don't last as long. They've got sealed uh, uh, transmissions. You can't even check the transmission fluid. There's nowhere that it makes any sense other than you get better gas mileage. But are you going to pay $80,000 to get better gas mileage than a $40,000 vehicle? Like, there's no common sense. There's no common sense anymore. I've got a Pontiac Vibe parked right behind my van here. They get great gas mileage. They get into the 30s. Got a Toyota engine, Toyota transmission. I paid $5,000 for it. Some would say that's too much. It had 114,000 miles on it. Toyota. It's not too much. Those cars go to 300,000, and then the speedometers don't go any higher. And I'm on forums where people are hitting that all the time. The, that's a wise purchase. That's buying an older Toyota, basically. They're cheap to repair. They're cheap to change the transmission fluid. I can do it myself. I have a dipstick for that. People need to be smarter. People need to not care what others think. People need to think about worst case scenarios. They need to think about redundancy. That's my rant. Hope you'll subscribe. Hope you like the video. And I hope to see you back. God bless everybody.